It's AJ. I called you a couple weeks ago about Jalen Milroe.
AJ, dude, you're back, man. We got to ask you about Jalen, man, because you called in, you were hating on Milroe, you didn't like him, dude. Milroe's been balling out, man. I need to hear some feedback on it because look, this kid has been playing at a high level, man. I'm gonna give you an opportunity, AJ. You got to spit it, man. So welcome in the show, and let me know your take, man. After a couple weeks, are you on the Milroe train, or are you still off?
I am nowhere near on any Milroe train ever. I still think he misses more passes than he should. He's playing adequately, which he should have been doing all season. I think we're more impressed that he's actually playing adequately. He's not playing great football. He's not. We all know he's athletic. He should be putting up huge numbers if he was actually a good quarterback. He's playing adequately. He has a great team around him with a lot of talent, and I think the offensive line is playing a heck of a lot better, and I think that's the biggest change. The offensive line, defensive lights out. We know that. Running backs are the running backs. Receivers are above average. The offensive line is playing great. Defense is playing great. We have an adequate quarterback. That's what's happening right now. But my phone call isn't really about Milroe. It's unfortunately, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't see a way we're gonna make this top four. There's too many ifs. There's too many, if this, if that. And what really hurt us yesterday was Auburn. Oh my God, come on. So now this Auburn win that we're going to have this week is going to mean nothing because this Auburn team got smacked around by New Mexico State, a team with a bunch of 2 stars and 3 stars. You got smacked around by New Mexico State. So this win against Auburn is not going to mean anything. Ohio State, Michigan are going to cancel each other out. Someone's going to go out to top 4, but they're not going to go far out. They're going to go like 5, 6. We know that. If Bama beats Georgia, Georgia's going to go down to like 5. They're not going to go 6, 7, 8 because they've been number 1 and 2 all year. The things that we need to happen is so many scenarios, man. You need Florida State to lose. You need Michigan to lose. You need Washington to lose. It's just not going to happen. I just think that loss against Texas really hurt us. And I don't think it was just the loss from Texas. I think it was the 2 to 3 weeks after that of poor, mediocre football. That was when we had a chance to move up slightly, move up 1, move up 2. We played South Florida and looked like a 1AA team. I know Nick Saban was trying to figure out who his quarterback was, but even when we had Ty Simpson in and we had other quarterbacks, the fact that we literally could not move the ball, I think that's what made the committee go, yeah, let's keep them back here. So I don't think it's the Texas loss that hurt us. I think it's the way we played 2, 3, 4 weeks after that Texas loss. We did not look like a top 15 team. And right now we look like a top 3 team, but I think it's just a little too late. We should have been doing this starting week 3 or week 4, week 5. You understand? So I just think there's so many things that need to happen. And unfortunately, style points won't bring us back. It brings me back to the Ohio State Miami Hurricanes days when Miami Hurricanes were like the number 1 team, amazing, scoring everything, and Ohio State kept winning by 3, 7, tough defense, and everybody was like, oh, look, they're not beating teams by a lot. But then when they played Miami, styles make fights. Mm-hmm. Styles make fights. Miami got punched in the face. Miami punched back, but it was just styles make fights. Just because Michigan is not blowing everybody out doesn't mean when you line up against them, you're going to blow them out. You know what I'm saying? Styles make fights. So it's just, I don't think this year's the year. I would love to see it. I think Bama would win, honestly. I think Bama is the best team in the country right now. But it's just we fell too far behind, and then the climb back was just too slow.
On the line with AJ from New York, right? Or was it from Brooklyn?
Yes.
All right.
New York. I'm from Brooklyn, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Okay, so First of all, I appreciate you calling in, man, because I was wondering, man. I was like, listen, man, like, at some point, AJ's going to call back, all right? So listen, first of all, I appreciate you calling in. All right, so let me give you my rebuttal on Milroe. I let you talk, and I appreciate you giving me the floor now. All right, so when you look to Jalen Milroe, I think the thing about him, what has been really amazing was when you look to the actual stats, this season, it's been really amazing to see how he has transformed from the beginning of the season to now when he has his team completely under his wing, right? You look at the stats right in front of you, and you see his Pro Football Focus grades. I mean, 88.3 against Ole Miss, 90 against Mississippi State, and for whatever reason, I mean, that people can't get that Week 2 game out of their mouth. But when you look to the overall stats and the passing statistics, I mean, this guy has been really unbelievable, to be honest, AJ, because you look to the fact that this is the crazy stat that stood out to me is he has 12 rushing touchdowns, which actually leads college football. FBS. And then on the season, he also has all these touchdowns that he's been racking up through the air as well. He had another 3 yesterday. And his deep ball accuracy has always been there, but that short intermediate, it's been getting better, 100%. But the way that he played against LSU, that's kind of the game that I'm harping on with Jalen Milroe, because I think he has an ability to really just take over a game because he is that dynamic of a quarterback. We haven't seen that against Kentucky. We didn't need to see that against Chattanooga, but he didn't need to do that. So I think that the best player in college football, the most dangerous, is probably Jalen Milroe. I think regarding Alabama overall, this team, like you said, I mean, you said it, that this team is one of the best teams in the country. And the problem that we're having with this playoff selection committee is that kind of like the same thought process about Milroe and how he played in the early part of the season. Because when you look to this team's overall resume, and this isn't sensationalizing anything. I mean, these are the physical stats. I mean, they've won 9 games in a row. But the statistic that I think stands out the most about this team is the fact that they are 7-0 in SEC play. And I think when you compare the conferences, which is very hard to do because it's all hypothetical, you could just say this conference is better than this, whatever. No, like the SEC historically and this year, they have quite a few teams inside that top 25. This is a good team. It's a good conference, great conference, probably the best conference in college football. I mean, the way that Georgia is playing, like this might all be like a mute point because they might just be a buzzsaw and end everybody's hopes and dreams, right? But I think overall, like the SEC is the strongest conference, and right now Bama's 1-2, and honestly, the facts and the stats back it up that Jalen Milroe has certainly improved, and I mean, this guy's even his Heisman Trophy numbers, I mean, are climbing up there. I mean, the guy's balling out. AJ, what you got?
Kyle. All right, listen. I will concede to you. He's playing much better football. I still don't see what everybody sees. I still think he misses more passes than he should. I don't think he looks comfortable back there. I think he's a product of the team around him. That's what I think. The thing about Milroe is this, right? As great as you think he's playing, as great as his pro football focus numbers are, whatever. When he plays a team like Michigan, Georgia, the teams that really play defense, I'm not talking about these run-of-the-mill teams, I'm talking about defense, right? They're going to force him to be a quarterback. Mm-hmm. He's not a quarterback. That's when you're going to see him not being able to those 20-yard scrambles aren't going to happen. He's going to have to go to second read, third read, maybe fourth read, and he's just not able to do that. I understand what you've seen. I get it. But I'm telling you, when you force him to play quarterback, he freezes up, he throws interceptions, he throws it to covered receivers. He's just not a quarterback. But I understand. He's in college, he's deadly because of his legs and the potential of what he can do. I get it. I've been watching Alabama football like when I watch Tua, right? Mm-hmm. Kyle, you remember Tua. When Tua dropped back, it was like magic. It was like I know somebody's gonna be hit in stride. I knew it was a 5-step. I would count his steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you would see him go through one read, second read, and it'll be like it's magic. Like you were watching a quarterback. I was like, oh my Lord, I love watching this guy play. When I watch Milroe drop back, he looks so uncomfortable. And it's almost like he guesses who's gonna be open. And then once he finds one, he lobs the ball up, and his deep ball is great. I agree with you, but he doesn't have a fluid passing motion, and it doesn't look comfortable. I'm telling you, it's just not a quarterback. But I get what you're saying. The committee does not respect SEC. The SEC is the best conference in the league. I couldn't see Alabama falling behind 14 to that team FSU played. I don't even know who they played, but I couldn't see Alabama falling behind to that team. If Alabama plays Oregon State, they're not going to win by 2. Of course, like we all see this, Kyle. Like Alabama is probably the best team in the league. Georgia maybe is better than Alabama because they're like head for head. But unfortunately, it's just the road. It's just you're going to have to skip a lot of undefeated teams. And I don't think the committee has the guts. Honestly, the committee does not have the guts to do what we know should happen, which is skip all of these mediocre teams who've gone undefeated because their conference sucks. The committee does not have the guts. Even though last year they should have learned their lesson, putting TCU in the playoffs. TCU. It's like we keep doing this every year, but unfortunately, because of human error, because of these people that they're choosing to be in the committee. I heard there was a Pac-12 guy in there. It's just silly. You're not supposed to put Pac-12 directors or commissioners or whoever. That's bias. You're supposed to put football people in there. There are football people who know football, can look at football and say, yeah, Alabama would beat Washington 54-21. We all know that. Alabama would beat all of these teams in front of them except Georgia. I think Georgia is toe for toe with Alabama. Georgia is not scared of Alabama. In fact, even Alabama's championship years, if you watch the games that they played with Georgia went toe for toe with them every game. And that Tua to Smith catch, the game winner for the national championship, you and I know that was lucky. They were in cover 2. That safety should have never been in the middle of the field. So even that championship was lucky because Georgia outplayed them 90% of the game. It's the only team I feel can match up with Alabama toe for toe is Georgia. But the committee doesn't have the guts to do that because, they're going to put the Washingtons and the Oregons and all these teams that we know can't match up with Alabama. That's my thing with this college football committee. I can't stand it, but I have to respect it. Those teams are undefeated. Florida State is not a great team. I'm sorry they're not, but this is what it is. They're undefeated, right? Washington barely beat their game last year. They're undefeated. Meanwhile, Alabama is physically manhandling people. You're watching Alabama physically manhandle teams, but the committee doesn't care about that. They just want the undefeated. So it is what it is. Honestly, Georgia and Alabama should just play the national championship. We both know that. Georgia and Alabama are the best 2 teams in the country. They have the most NFL players. They play football. You can watch the Georgia defense play, and it's magic, man. When I watch them play, I'm like, wow, look at the speed. Look at the corners. Look, you can watch Alabama and watch Georgia play, and you can tell they are a different kind of football. I can tell. It's a different brand of football, but unfortunately, it's just too far. I'm sorry. It sucks, but we're going to be left watching FSU and Washington in the playoffs. We're going to watch Washington.
a backup quarterback Washington. All right, AJ, before I get to my next caller, man, let me point to some more facts on this. All right. So when you look to Jalen Milroe again, we're talking about AJ and I are chopping it up about Jalen Milroe. The stats right here. And when you look to Pro Football Focus, and I guess we've kind of gone away from the Pro Football Focus grades, for the last several weeks. I'll start to add those if you guys want to see them. The thing about it is it kind of gives you a reality check in terms of like what is actually going on, because these are people outside that grade the quarterback. So when you look to these grades as well, don't think of them necessarily as school grades, because like an 80 would be an A. So to see his overall grades from that beginning point of the season, overall, I mean, this guy, this is the crazy thing right here. Like, You love Tua, right? Like through 12 games right now, Jalen Milroe's Pro Football Focus grade is 91.2, okay? 91.2. Now hang with me. Let's go up real quick and let's look to Tua Tagovailoa during that same point. I'm telling you, because I want to see his grade when he was at Alabama. So we'll go back to 2019. And all right, so okay, what did I just say? What's on the screen? Someone write it down, okay? You love Tua, right?
91.2.
Okay, 91.2, right? Yep. AJ, this is gonna be our last. This is it, man. I'm gonna make you a Jalen Milroe. I'm gonna make you believe. Okay, in 2 seconds. Okay, you guys ready for this?
83.
90. Hold on. 91.2. You ready?
Offense 91.2.
You ready? 91.2.
Past 83, Kyle.
Okay.
83, Kyle. Kyle, past 83.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm saying overall grade. Okay? Overall grade. You ready?
Okay.
3, 2.
Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. 90.3. 90.3. All right. Okay. Those are facts. Those are facts, AJ.
Oh my!
I'm gonna buy you a Milroe jersey. You can go to CVS right now and get his autograph if you were here. AJ, I gotta go to my next caller, man. Make one more point before I bounce out.
Wait. 1 second, Kyle. 1 second, Kyle. When we talk about this again, you're gonna look at pass attempts, which Tua is throwing for 35 to 40 attempts, while Jalen's throwing for 15 to 20. That's one, right? One is carrying the offense with his arm. The other one is throwing 20 passes a game. And then look at passing rating. Passing. Not just offense. Passing. Tua threw 35 to 40 passes a game. He was the offense. Jalen throws for 20 passes a game. Yes, you're gonna have more of a greatest score.
But they're completely different quarterbacks though, AJ. The facts are they're completely different quarterbacks. It'd be like comparing like the different quarterbacks between like Mac Jones and Jalen and Tua versus Jalen Hurts. Like they're all different quarterbacks. AJ, I got love for you, man, but I got to move to my next quarterback. I got to move to my next quarterback. I got to move to my next caller, AJ. All right, man. All right. See you.
I'll call back next week, man.
All right, man. See you, AJ. Take it easy, man. Enjoy your Sunday. Like.